Hi class, let's continue talking about the last part of chapter 5. Okay, so here we're gonna introduce a new concept called conditional currency options. A currency option can be structured with a conditional premium, meaning that the premium paid for the option is conditioned on the actual movement of the currency's value over the period of concern. Firms also use various combinations of currency options. Okay, so here we have this new concept of conditional currency option, conditional premium. Okay, so this premium is conditioned on the actual movement in the currency value. Conditioned on the actual currency's value. Okay. Whether you pay the premium or not is conditioned on the actual currency's value. Okay, let's look at a practice problem here. Conditional currency options are, okay, we've already seen the answer, are options where the premiums are canceled if a trigger level is reached. Okay, it's not saying that the option do not require premium. It's not saying that option allow the buyer to decide what currency the option will be settled in. It is saying that we do not pay the premiums anymore if a trigger level is reached. Okay, so I guess this practice and the concept are giving us some new ideas. Let's look at an example so you would be more clear. Okay, we're using put option as an example here, and we're comparing conditional put option and basic put option. Okay, on the blue line here in this graph, it is conditional put option. On the yellow line here, it is basic put option. Okay, and on the y-axis, we're showing net amount received. On the x-axis, we're showing spot rate. Okay, so here we can see that. Let's start from looking at basic put option. Okay, we can see for the basic, we set the exercise price of the basic put option is 1.7. Premium is 0.02. Okay, so you can see when the spot rate is also 1.7. Okay, this is a break-even point. Or, excuse me, it's not break-even point, but the cutting point. Okay, when the spot rate is 1.7, you can purchase the currency at 1.7, but you need, and you can sell the currency at the exercise price by exercising the put option and have a 1.7 cash inflow, right? So at this cutting point, you are paying 1.7, getting 1.7, okay, through the transactions, and at the same time, you need to pay another 0.2 premium. Okay, so your net profit is negative 0.02. But the amount you're gonna receive, okay, is by exercising this put option, is 1.7 minus 0.02. So it's 1.68. Okay, this is the cutting point. If the spot rate is going to be lower than this 1.7, meaning you could purchase the currency at a lower rate compared to 1.7. Okay, you would always exercise the option, right? And purchase the currency at a lower rate, making profits. Okay, however, the amount you receive through the option would always be 1.7, the income you have by selling the currency, minus the premium you pay, 0.02. So this is 1.68. Okay, I can put 1.7 minus 0.02 here. This is how you get 1.68 here. Okay, if you exercise the put option. And passing the cutting point, for example, here at this point, where the spot rate is 1.72 and the exercise price is still 1.7. Okay, it means that on the market, you could have sold your currency at 1.72. Okay, so you would choose, which is higher than the exercise price. So you would choose not to exercise the option. Okay, so you would receive 1.72. By not exercising the option, but selling your currency on the spot market, okay, and then you still need to pay for the premium, 0.02, right? So the net amount you receive is 1.7. Okay. And as you have higher and higher swap rates, you would not exercise the put option, sell the currency on the spot market, have higher and higher income, but just still need to pay premium. Okay, this is basic put option. The conditional put option has the same exercise price, 1.7, but we also have a trigger, which is 1.74, which means we only need to pay for a premium of 0.04 if we only need to pay for this if our spot is higher than the trigger value, 1.74. Okay, you can see our cutting point for our blue line is here, where our spot rate is 1.74. Okay, premium is triggered. So if we, again, when spot rate is 1.74, we do not want to exercise the option, we could have sold the currency at 1.74. But because the premium is triggered, because the spot is higher than the trigger level, 1.74, we pay for the premium 0.04. Okay, so the net amount received is 1.7. So at this point, we have 1.74 minus 0.04. Okay, and when the spot rate is higher and higher, we also need to pay for the premium, and then the amount receives increases. Okay, what if the spot rate is lower than the trigger? We don't have a premium anymore. Okay, so when the spot rate is from 1.7 to 1.74, we still want to not exercise the put option, just sell it at the spot rates. Okay, and the amount we receive is from 1.70 to 1.74, and we don't need to pay for premium. And if the spot rate is lower than 1.7, anything below 1.7, we would rather exercise the put option and sell it at 1.7. Okay, so we receive 1.7. Okay, so this is basic versus conditional option. Another new concept we want to introduce is the comparison between European currency options and American style options. Okay, for European style options, it must be exercised on the expiration date if they are to be exercised at all. They do not offer as much flexibility. However, this is not relevant to some situations. If European style options are available for the same expiration date as American style options, it can be purchased for a slightly lower premium. Some corporations may prefer them for hedging. Okay, so European style options have slightly lower premium sometimes to attract investors because they have this strict rule of having to be exercised on the expiration date. Where for American style options, it is more flexible. And for American style options, we can exercise earlier than the expiration date. Okay, let's look at this practice. I'm gonna just show you the answer here so you are clear. So you can see clearly that the difference between these two. Okay, European currency option can be exercised only on the expiration date. American currency options can be exercised anytime up to the expiration date. Okay, so American style is more flexible. European style is more restricted. Okay, and any other options are not correct here. A summary on this chapter 5. Okay, we started on talking about fuel forward contracts. It specifies a standard volume of a particular currency to be exchanged on a particular date. Volume, date, currency set. Such a contract can be purchased by a firm to hedge payables or sold by a firm to hedge receivables. Futures contracts on a particular currency can be purchased by corporations that have payables in that currency and wish to hedge against the possible appreciation of that currency. Conversely, these contracts can be sold by a corporation that have receivables in that currency and wish to hedge against the possible depreciation of that currency. Okay, if the currency is gonna appreciate, okay, you wanna purchase the futures, okay, buy it at the low point. If it is gonna depreciate, okay, you wanna sell it at the high point. Option. We have call and put option. Call option gives us the right to purchase, right to buy a specific currency at a specific date at a specified exchange rate by a specified expiration date. Okay, put option gives us the right to sell a specified currency at a specified exchange rate by a specific expiration date. Call options are commonly purchased by corporations that have payables in a currency that is expected to appreciate. Okay, so it's usually payables or it's because it's gonna appreciate. Put options are commonly purchased by corporations that have receivables in a currency that is about to depreciate. Okay, that's conditional option contracts, European versus American style option contracts, and the summary on chapter 5. In the next video, we're going to discuss some more practice for chapter 5.